Hello, everyone, and welcome to the XFFL. I am the Commish. I'm your host, and I'm here to talk to you about the highs and the lows of Week 11. So let's go ahead and start with the NFL like we do every week. I'm going to talk about what I love to talk about, which is the Chiefs. So the Chiefs got themselves a win in good old Mexico. That's right, they played the Chargers in Mexico. The field conditions were pretty bad. Didn't make for good football, made for interesting football because the game came down to a last-minute interception in the end zone, sealing the victory for the Chiefs. So way to go, Chiefs. Way to hang on to that division lead. Now, also, the NFL 100 Greatest. They named the number one team overall in NFL history, and yes, you guessed it was the 72 Dolphins, and rightfully so, since those guys are the only undefeated team in history. So way to go, Dolphins. You keep cracking that champagne every year, okay? Another notable thing that was happening in the NFL this week was Colin Kaepernick comes out of the proverbial rock and from under it and schedules a workout. And I reckon 8 teams showed up for this thing, and it sounds like he got himself a position. So here's the position he got. Take a look. All right, that seems like a fitting position for Mr. Peckerneck. So, hey, we'll see how it works out for him, okay? All right, now let's get to our league, the XFFL. So starting right off with the high week, we have a person that returned to the high week. It would be Coach Bo Ash and the Tennessee Big Guns. They were up against the Pylon Pythons, and they beat them with a score of 148 to 128. It was a pretty good game. A lot of points going around there, but the biggest contributor to Coach Ash's team was Jimmy Garoppolo. Had another big game for him. He was 34 for 45 with 424 yards, 4 touchdowns, and he had 2 interceptions. And even with that, he still scored 58 fantasy points for Bo, which gave him the nice little cushion there to get the win over Coach Lane. So sorry about your luck there, John Lane, but Coach Ash took care of business this week. Now let's move on to dead ass last. Okay, so Coach Wolf, he took a hard one this week. He was playing against a divisional rival in the Wookiees of the Year. Wookiees of the Year got themselves a win with a score of 113 to 85. There was a lot of blame to pass around on this one, and most of it can be pointed at Coach Wolf because he had 2 players in his lineup this week, Ty Montgomery and Robert Woods, that got him a couple of big goose eggs, right? Now, one of them wasn't really his fault. Ty Montgomery, he had 2 rushes for 11 yards, so really not going to get any fantasy points that way. Now, the other one, Robert Woods, he was on his roster, and that guy was inactive this week. So another week where you got an unnecessary goose egg, so leads to him being the dead-ass last recipient this week. Now let's move on to the Eliminator. Everybody's been wanting to know about this one. It whittled its way down to 2 teams. It was between Coach Carl and Coach Miller of the RuPaul's Titans and Miller's Maniacs. But this one was close. It came down to the wire. So congratulations, Coach Carl. You got the Eliminator purse this year. $65 goes into your pocket, and you had 118. Miller had 116. So it was really very, very close. Only 2 points separated you two this week. But congratulations on surviving that and making it to the end. All right, bench warmer of the week. This one was no surprise. Coach Tooks, Milt, he had Kyler Murray on the bench, and he had 24. He was 24 for 33, 150 yards, 2 touchdowns. Doesn't sound like a lot, but then you throw in 67 yards rushing and a touchdown. That gives him 35 fantasy points that were sitting on the bench. Didn't really need it this week. He still got the win. So congratulations, Milt, on getting your win and getting off to Schneid as far as being at the bottom of the pile. That distinction belongs to me this week. So hopefully I can get myself out of that spot. All right, some notable notes. Let's go ahead and talk about the notable notes. So with Week 11 in our rearview mirror, that's starting to form things up for the playoffs. We have a few teams that are out of the mix, and that would be the Dirty Birds, the Wolfpack, and myself are currently officially eliminated from the main playoff bracket. So, I got a couple of partners there to join me, partners in crime. So I guess we'll be meeting each other in the toilet bowl bracket this year. But if you move on to the championship bracket, the way it stands right now in the AFC, you have the Kickers of Butte, who are on a bye, and you have the Wookiees of the Year, if things hold up for them, be making their first playoff appearance in that team's history, and they'll be playing against Miller's Maniacs. On the NFC side of things, you have Coach Dan Chase and the Marauders. They would have a bye as it stands right now, and it would be RuPaul's Titans playing the Kentucky Rednecks. So Coach Carl playing against Coach Watson. That's the way it shakes up right now. There's still some room for movement for a couple of teams, so a lot of things are not solidified yet, but I'll keep you posted as things go along. All right, update on the watch party this weekend. So we had 4 members show up, and that would be me, Tony, Dan, and John. So each one of us got $5 in draft cash for the 2020 draft next year. But we also had Coach Carter and Coach Carl that did the phone call in. So both of those gentlemen will also get the $5 in draft cash going into the 2020 draft, and I'll be sending out an update shortly about where everybody's at with their draft budget for next year, so that way you guys can be prepared. All right, so leads me to my last order of business. So I know you guys probably saw on the Facebook page, Coach Jan called me out, told me he was going to beat me and make me look bad, etc. So I came back with my own video, and I talked a lot of smack, and in the end, I lost. So, but here's the sad news. It's been brought to my attention by a source that we can't identify right now that Coach Jan was involved in some tampering. And so the specifics of this detail, of this accusation are this, is that Coach Tony Jan has developed quite the close relationship with a ball boy, and that ball boy allowed him to have access to my balls. And he was touching my balls, and he, basically deflated them. So, so it looks like we have our own deflate gate here. So, as the commissioner, I thought, hey, I'm going to hire myself an outside consultant to do the investigative work. But, I think I can be, impartial and unbiased in my investigation. But I'm going to be looking into this because I'm pretty sure that Tony's guilty. And if I find out he's guilty of deflating my balls and throwing the game, there's going to be some serious penalties come down on Coach Jan. But I'll keep you guys posted on that. But for now, that's all I got for this week. Congratulations to our winners. Sorry to our losers, and we'll just keep plugging along until we get to the playoffs. There's only 2 weeks left until we get to the playoff bracket. That's it for me. I'm the commish, and I will see you around the league.